Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union. Members of the GUT Credit Union and the general public are advised that regular operations have resumed at the Carriacou branch effective Thursday, May 5th, 2022. GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
We are back again with Network News at 7. Tonight we bring to you the following developments. Campbell protest cancelled. Lone survivor of sunken vessel attacked by bandits in Trinidad. Opposition party says workers will be paid fortnightly instead of monthly if it wins the next general elections. Regionally, protests in Guyana mount over former Prime Minister of Finance's arrest. And WHO says COVID death toll is nearly 15 million. Coming up in sports, the Grenadian U15 table tennis team begins its participation in the Caribbean Youth Table Tennis Championships. We'll be back with the details shortly.
The first segment of the news comes to you compliments Soft Weave Bathroom Tissue.
Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue, available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Thanks for joining Network News at 7. I am Krista Campbell. Protest action for Campbell, which was accorded for 9 a.m. today, was cancelled. Word of the cancellation spread earlier this morning. This morning's protest action would have been the second of its kind since Bell's death after a run-in with the Coast Guard on April 24th. The cancellation follows yesterday's call for calm from the Commissioner of Police, Edward Martin, during the RGPF's press briefing. The employment status of the officers was one of the concerns raised by the mother of the victim. Commissioner Martin informed the nation that the Coast Guard officers involved in the incident have been placed on leave while investigations proceed.
The RGPF respects the right of individuals to a peaceful protest. However, I want to appeal for cooperation and respect for officers in the execution of their duty, particularly at these incidents, where the sole purpose of police officers in those duties are to ensure the peace, safety, and security, including that of protesters. In the last protest action we had, I think last Friday, 2 officers were injured by bottles thrown at them. Another individual passing on his motorcycle was drenched with liquid. I think it's beer and water were thrown on him as well. We just want to appeal again for persons for cooperation. The officers involved in this incident, that part of the police patrol vessel at that point in time, are not on active duty.
Survivor of the MV Fairchance, Jonelle McIntosh, made the news again in Trinidad and Tobago. This time the headline reads, MV Fairchance crew member beaten, robbed. More in this report from Beverly Telesword.
Having survived the sinking of the MV Fairchance that took the lives of 4 of his colleagues, crew member Jonelle McIntosh was on Wednesday beaten and stabbed by plunderers in Chaguaramas, Trinidad. According to the Guardian media in Trinidad, McIntosh was on the vessel, which was raised by the TNT Coast Guard and is now anchored in Chaguaramas, around 1 a.m. on Wednesday, when 7 men boarded the vessel and announced a robbery. He said he woke up with a gun to his face. He asked the men what they were there for, to which they replied, drugs, guns, and money. McIntosh said after telling them those things are not on the vessel, they started beating him. He claimed he was beaten with pieces of wood and iron and stabbed in the shoulder. He said he returned to Trinidad and Tobago to assist with finding the captain and doing salvage operations on the vessel, and this is what he's faced with. McIntosh said Trinidad and Tobago had treated him worse than anywhere he had been, adding that he would discourage anyone from going to the Twin Island Republic. He added that he felt like there is no hope in the country, no one around to come and seek their interests. He told the Guardian media that he is feeling upset and like a different person since he did not find the captain, added to being robbed, chopped, and stabbed. He said he was also tied up by the pirates on the vessel. McIntosh said he would return home on Thursday to his family. He lost his cell phone and other valuables in the robbery. Police are conducting investigations into the incident. The MV Fairchance was en route to St. Vincent to deliver supplies when rough seas caused the vessel to overturn 5 nautical miles off Manus Island on April 2nd. 4 other crew members' bodies were found, but Captain Dexter Chance is still missing.
With allegations of sexual misconduct surfacing within the Royal Grenada Police Force, Commissioner Edwin Martin wants officers who feel violated or are aware of such offence to step forward and make known all forms of sexual harassment. Christina John reports.
Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin says a focal group is now in place, tasked with the responsibility to handle sexually related matters within the force.
And I want to use your question again to double down that if there are any female, any male or female experiencing those circumstances, please come forward to the focal group. The focal group have been clearly identified at the female meeting. It is headed by female superintendent Nola Lewis, the head of FIU, the head of DFU, our sexual unit, SVU, our sexual violence unit, and certainly our staff officer as well. All right? So, please come forward and speak to those individuals that we can get to the bottom of this. We really need to know whether or not what is the extent of this, if it is existing, and if it is that we can take appropriate action and respond to this. Because we do have a responsibility to make sure that everyone is entitled to a work environment free of those kind of incidents.
The establishment of the focal group follows recent reports of allegations by female officers who claim they feel violated by acts of sexual misconduct or harassment by some of their male colleagues. A closed-door session was held with female officers on Wednesday, and on Thursday, during a media brief, the commissioner admitted to instances of such acts.
The cases that I've referred to, the cases that persons are suspended for such acts, are junior officers. And I believe that those cases, notwithstanding the claim that the matter has not been addressed in the police force, might be carried by the very said media houses that is saying that the matter has not been addressed. In the engagement with my females yesterday, they did indicate in some way of instances involving senior officers.
The officers sought to explain what they consider to be harassment or sexual misconduct in order to arrive at what course of action is best should there be a violation.
As indicated before, the development of the sexual harassment policy is to guide conduct of police officers. But in the majority of instances of what falls into a definition, a considered definition of sexual harassment, it can also be covered under our police regulation as conduct prejudice to good order and discipline by behaving in a manner, be it touching, speaking, whatever the case, inappropriately with another member of the force. We have also and that is why we have the sexual harassment policy and we have fraternization. Because even if the gestures are welcome, because sexual harassment speaks to unwelcome, even if the gestures are welcome, we are ruling that out by fraternization, that you should not be fraternizing on the job. So hence the reason why we have 2 policies.
Commissioner Martin said this issue is quite concerning and needs to get to the bottom of it. The Police High Command believes they are capable of handling their affairs relating to the wrongdoings of officers and does not necessarily require an independent body outside of the force to do so. Kristalina John, GBN News.
Grenada and other Caribbean islands are being told it's time that they get serious about implementing what is called a counter-cyclical policy. Caribbean Economic Advisor Dr. Marla says this policy means that when things are good, the governments save so that when they hit a rough patch, there's money in the kitty to cushion the effects. She says they need to take proactive measures when their economies are stable and strong. Her comments were made at a Caribbean Economic Forum, which was hosted virtually.
In general, because we've traditionally had deficit spending, most governments in this region, we don't have a fiscal space that allows us to protect the people that, in that question we're referring to, those who are actually already poor or one paycheck away from falling below the poverty line. And of course, the pandemic has driven higher levels of poverty across the globe. And it's a challenge that most governments are not yet able to fully grapple with.
Dr. Marlow laments the fact that when fiscal adjustments are made, these do not trickle down to consumers except when it's time to record a rise in the cost of goods and services.
The question, though, is, are these adjustments, policy adjustments, reflected in the prices on the shelf? Because there have been instances where we've had price deflation globally on commodities. Early 2020, in the early stages of the pandemic, we had that phenomenon. Yet still, I don't recall seeing any adjustment in prices of goods on the shelf.
The regional economist firmly believes that the governments across the region need to go beyond providing intervention initiatives.
Maybe not so much the government addressing the poverty, rising poverty, and the pressures on people's pockets based on taxes or other direct subsidies and interventions like that. Perhaps it's a question of how do we ensure that when we do make any fiscal policy adjustment on taxes or even exchange rate adjustments, that it's reflected in the price on the shelf. Making sure that that happens, I think, is much more important, and I'm not so sure we do a good enough job of that.
Still to come from us this evening, the National Democratic Congress is promising workers fortnightly pay instead of monthly if it wins the next general elections. This and more when we return.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Drop by any one of our 8 locations today. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Here is a little known fact. There is only one place in Grenada that you can get an MRI scan done. That place is Spicile Imaging Center. Yes, Grenada, that's the truth. Other centers could offer you other scans, but Spicile Imaging provides an authentic MRI scan. Here's another little known fact. Spicile Imaging has 3 centers. We operate at Grenville, the Carnage, and at the Ocean House, Grand Anse. We provide the widest range of laboratory tests and services. CT scans, x-rays, mammograms, ultrasounds, and a host of other services. We are fully staffed by a team of family doctors and specialists. Call us today at 444-7679. or 406-1500, or visit any of our 3 locations. Spicile Imaging, from seeing the doctor getting lab tests, scans, and pharmacy services. We are here to take care of you.
If prosperity really matters to you, come home to Grenada Cooperative Bank. Since 1932, we have shared the same values: financial diligence, investing with prudence, transparent compliance, consistent performance.
Welcome home, Grenada.
No matter the economic climb, we always stand the test of time.
Welcome home, Grenada, the bank that goes the extra mile. Welcome home, Grenada, the bank that serves with a smile.
Welcome to a bank you can truly call your own. Grenada Cooperative Bank.
We care because you matter.
Co-op Bank. Welcome home.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 2.5 years of waiting and waiting, I know you're feeling bad. Finally, we are going back to the stadium on Sunday, May 15th from 5 p.m. We say, Tingo nice again. Tingo nice again, Tingo nice again. As Megaforce Promotions brings to you $120,000 cash money bingo. Oh, that's right, Grenada. It's a massive $120,000 bingo. 120,000 big ones. Bingo tickets cost $50. Make it a date. Grab your bingo posse and let's go to the National Stadium Sunday, 15th May from 5 p.m. Tingo nice again. Tingo nice again. Tingo nice again.
The stage is set. The anticipation is high.
Are you feeling?
As we get ready for a night of love. Saturday, May 7th at the National Cricket Stadium. Lovers of reggae. We welcome back to the Spice Isle, the electrifying Taurus Riley. With full live band. Together with Dean Fraser on sax. Known for his energetic performance, lovers of dancehall, we welcome on stage Stylo G. From the 4th Jenna Camp, Governor. Also featuring local stars Dash, Vaughn, and Valley Ned. Get your early bird tickets for $100. Available at the usual Sunshine Promotion outlets and online at GoToFed.com. Stay connected to our social media pages for details on our stage side VIP. Gates open at 8 p.m. Showtime 10 p.m. It's a night of love. Brought to you by Sunshine Promotions.
My name is Trisha Maras. I am a proud member of the Ariza Credit Union. I chose to become a member of the Ariza Credit Union because I got some financial advice from a former boss who is a member of the financial institution, and that was the best decision of my life I made. What I like most about the Ariza Credit Union is the courteousness from the staff, the low interest rates, and the pension plan. How has Ariza helped me over the years? I had 2 dreams in this life. One is to sending my daughter off to university, and the other is achieving my dream home. So if Ariza can transform my life, it can transform yours. So if you're not yet a member of the Ariza Credit Union, come on down and be a member. Happy anniversary to the Ariza Credit Union. And thank you for the 75 years of transforming our lives.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Drop by any one of our 8 locations today. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Now for news on the political front. If the National Democratic Congress wins the next general elections, it will change the pay cycle. The promise has come from the political leader Deacon Mitchell. He made the promise at a virtual town hall meeting.
Listing a number of challenges that can be made easier for employees, political leader of the National Democratic Congress, Deacon Mitchell, says his party plans to change the payment schedule to twice a month. This he hopes to achieve within the first 100 days if his party is elected into office.
Many of our employees, many of our workers, because of cash flow problems, are required to borrow consumer loans at excessively high interest rates of 14 and 16%, which puts them in a debt trap cycle that they are unable to come out of. And many instances, it is simply because of their inability to manage the cash flow because they are paid once a month. But the bills aren't always once a month. The bills are sometimes in the middle of the month. And we want to give our workers the opportunity to better manage the cash flow and to remove themselves from that type of debt trap by ensuring that they are paid twice a month.
He is encouraging the private sector to start examining and putting the necessary accounting and administrative preparations in place. Not only is an NDC government willing to legislate and put into law the requirements to ensure bi-monthly payments, but will also amend the labor code and adjust the minimum wage across all sectors.
This is one aspect of addressing workers' ability to stay current and to earn a decent living wage. But we also recognize that the cost of living is a major issue that we have to tackle, and we will in fact address this in another forum. But for now, the commitment is to ensure that across all sectors of Grenada, after we have adequately consulted with all those who are likely to be affected, that in fact the minimum wage be increased, and we are committing to do so.
Another NDC target is to implement an arbitration tribunal for dispute resolution.
By one labor employee representative selected by them, staffed by one employer or business community representative, and staffed by a lawyer of a certain amount of years standing and experience. This 3-man committee will constitute a permanent arbitration tribunal from which all disputes which are not resolved within the 30-day period before the Labour Commissioner shall automatically go before this arbitration tribunal, and the ruling of the arbitration tribunal will be final.
If implemented by the NDC government, this tribunal will eliminate the distinction between essential and non-essential workers. Mitchell said this will provide both employers and employees with swift, cheap, and efficient means of resolving disputes. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Mr. Mitchell's virtual town hall meeting followed the May 1st observance of International Workers' Day. As trade unions look to the future, they are being told it could well be time to revisit how May Day is celebrated. Let's toss to Joseph Kador for an analysis of this.
I'm getting ready to link up with former Labour Senator Raymond Roberts. Ray, there is a school of thought that seems to suggest the May Day celebration as it is has become watered down, in that it has been reduced to more gyrating and a party-like celebration and has somehow lost its relevance. What say you?
Well, Joseph, we have to accept that society has changed a bit, and the musical side of it, I think there could be a better selection of music that will carry the message and still provide some entertainment. So I would think our leaders need to rethink that part of creating a carnival for a serious event as May Day, because the history of it has been one of blood, sweat, and tears. So I would hope that our leaders would rethink that part of it. Yes, we can have the DJs on the streets, but really there could be more relevant music. And surely we can see more placards and banners reflecting the challenges of workers. So I will agree that those things are still relevant. And I think it's a responsibility on the unions and in particular the leaders to ensure that the younger people who may want to go a different route understand that this is serious solidarity. This is an event we are communicating to the wider society about the importance of workers and issues that are affecting them. So yes, there has to be a pleasure side to it, but the serious side cannot be a second carnival.
But what can be done in order to stem that shift in the tide, that new culture that seemed to be transcending itself and taken away from that traditional militancy that May Day represented?
Well, I think there was some militancy that augurs well, but you're quite right that there has to be a more vivid display of it, gyrating and, creating your own happiness. I don't think that is what we want to see in Labor Day. We want to see a coalition of workers demonstrating issues, burning issues that the state must deal with. Yes, the pension was very much center of attraction or center of the issues that we highlighted, but you're quite right. The militancy must be used to highlight the things that are affecting workers across the society, because people are tuned in, people are listening. I mean, those who came before us, the reason why we are where we are
is because of them.
As I said to you earlier, the labor code is a perfect example.
I know, Ray, we can take this conversation on, but we have to leave it there for now. Thank you, Ray Roberts, former Labour Senator. Indeed, it was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks, Joseph. Dickon Mitchell prides himself as a successful corporate lawyer and makes it clear that he has no apology to make for his accomplishment. We get more of this report.
We are all working class in Grenada. When people call people bourgeois and corporate lawyer, it is meant to paint a deliberate picture that they know is false. I said it before and I'm going to say it again. I have no intention of apologizing for my success as a lawyer.
Political leader of the National Democratic Congress, Dickon Mitchell, did not mince words in defending his career as a corporate lawyer. He was the lawyer for the WRB in the legal battle against the government's repurchase of Grenada shares. Mitchell assures supporters that he will represent Grenada with the same zeal, zest and vigor that he represents his clients with to defend and champion the cause of the working class.
Because the rule of law matters, that another lawyer who in the past would have been branded corporate and bourgeoisie, it is that same lawyer who took the case on behalf of workers and was able to get the Pension Disqualification Act declared as unconstitutional, so that workers today in Grenada, public workers, have the right to the pension.
Mitchell's statements were made days after President General of the Grenada Trades Union Council, Andre Lewis, told workers during May Day rally that industrial matters should never be mixed with politics.
Workers' issues must not be colored by politics. These are bread and butter issues. Whether you're green, whether you're yellow, whether you're red, whether you're blue, bread and butter issues must not be colored.
Was the presence of Brian Grimes, president of the Public Workers Union, at a town hall meeting a reminder that the NDC leader needed to respond?
Maybe the trade union leadership doesn't want it, but the workers of Grenada deserve good legal representation. And it is that good legal representation which led to their success on the pension issue. That's right. Yes. But I will go further. It is because of my success as a lawyer that I can say I am prepared to engage in public service.
Mitchell took his stance and made it clear that if the NDC fails to honor its promises, that he will encourage the people to vote them out of office. He said his reputation precedes him.
If you are good, people will hire you. And they will tell more people to hire you. That is simply what happened with my career as a lawyer.
Mitchell said he offered countless free advice to the trade union movement to help improve the collective well-being of workers, but they were not interested. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
The untimely death of 22-year-old Campbell after a boating accident with the Coast Guard continues to be a trending topic on social media. Comments flowed in the last 18 hours following the announcement of an independent inquiry into the circumstances surrounding his death.
GBN Social Buzz is reaching beyond the local platform to share with you what's trending on social media. We browse the World Wide Web and bring to you the topics inciting the most reaction and debate among users. On Thursday, GBN aired a report during which Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin announced that the officers involved in the Coast Guard incident that resulted in the death of Campbell have been placed on leave while the incident remains under investigation.
The officers involved in this incident, that parts of the police patrol vessel at that point in time, are not on active duty, as they too experienced trauma out of the incident, and also we want them to be far away from the process of investigation to afford an added layer of comfort for transparency in the investigative process.
Our viewers and listeners shared their opinions on the matter in the comment section of our Facebook page. The following views are of the members of the public and not necessarily of the GBN. Diana said, "Why 2 weeks later the persons involved only now being removed from active duty?" Dylan added, "We are only human. You all that talking will need the police one day. God is love. Continue, man." Donna said, "What I want to know is this. Did the crew of the Coast Guard mount an immediate search and rescue mission after the lone survivor told them that there was another person on the damaged vessel? Did the Coast Guard officers call out for help from their base? There are so much questions that need to be answered. Like, at what speed was the Coast Guard vessel traveling? Did they use their warning system, letting the other craft know that they were approaching? If after the lone survivor said that they tried using their phone light as a signal, and was there any big sea swells of waves that would have caused the approaching Coast Guard vessel to not see the light? Don't matter how small it might be, of the other sea craft." And said, "I think we should all wait, let the investigation take place. What if they have something different?" Glenmore chimed in, "This mother lost her son in an action that makes no sense. Her son is no more present to surprise her with breakfast in bed this Mother's Day morning. Biased comments that grieves this hurting mother and her family more during this time of grief and pain. My sympathy to the family. As an independent inquiry, do a thorough and fair investigation. This is not politics, it's somebody's dear son." Sweet Pea added, "I agree. No silence. Justice is needed. Come on." And Andrea said, "I believe this was a horrible accident where someone lost their life. Who's at fault? I don't know. So let them investigate." That's what's buzzing tonight. We encourage you, our viewers and listeners, to submit your think pieces on trending topics locally, regionally, and internationally via our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
Still ahead, Sandals Resorts prepare communities for the impact of natural disasters. Stay with us.
Hey man, when we come online, you only juking up the phone.
Yeah boy, now as I say, they have an app. I can't find it. I check Play Store. I do a Google search. I can't find it. Man, I get fed up, man.
Nah man, because you look in the wrong place. The app is web-based. You access it via your web browser, right? You can add it to your home screen or your desktop, like any regular app. Watch, look, I have it on my phone, right? And you can access it or add it to any device, your computer, your tablet, any device.
Well, how am I doing that and I can't find it?
All you have to do is open your browser, right? And type mobile.nawasa.gd. And voila, you see?
Just so?
Yes, and you can download it or access it via the web. Once you have a reliable internet connection, right, you can run the app anywhere, anytime.
So, how I adding that to my home screen?
You click on those three dots, right, or your web browser setting, and look for the option to install app or add to home screen. Easy peasy. The Nawasa app is versatile, fast-paced, and always up to date because it's web-based. Once a change is made to the app, it updates automatically, no hassle.
Mobile.nawasa.gd, your customer support companion.
Because today's all about celebrating you, we've stocked up all your favorite fragrances, skincare, makeup, and accessories. The latest in handbags from Furley, Italy, Mont Blanc, and more. We topped it up with love and a bundle sale package. Enjoy 15% off when you spend up to $100, 20% when you spend between $100 to $300, and take an extra 5% off for purchases over $300. And make sure you get your gift with your purchase. Happy Mother's Day from your friends at Rouge Duty Free.
A message from Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority on the occasion of the International Composting Awareness Week.
Hi, I'm Romeo Felix. At St. George's Methodist School, composting is a big deal. The students are always excited when it is composting day. We place organic waste in the composter or in a special area on the school compound. We later use the compost in the school garden. Yes, we have won many prizes for composting, but most of all, we have learned the valuable lessons of reusing, reducing, and recycling. Composting is the way to go. Happy International Composting Week.
A message from Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority on the occasion of the International Composting Awareness Week.
David Moya Monroe presents a tribute to Mom on Mother's Day. It's an afternoon of musical enchantment as we celebrate Mom through the pulsating rhythms of New Dimension, Angel Harps, and Comancheros steel orchestras. Celebrating Mom. There's also attractions for the kids. Yes, bouncing castle, face painting, as well as your favorite animated friends. Join the celebration on Mother's Day at Grand Mall Plainfield. It's a tribute to Mom as we celebrate life, living with the angels and queens among us. No vending allowed at this event.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers! Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
Level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride,
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
This is GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium. This segment is brought to you by Flow.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pocket every month. Plus now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
Welcome back. Sandals Resort is taking its operations outside of the 5-star walls and into Grenadian communities. It is reaching out to help ensure that communities are better prepared for the impact of natural disasters. Take a look at what the foundation is doing.
The Sandals Foundation has been partnering with the Youth Emergency Action Committee, YEAC, to implement its youth training program. Communications Officer Dillian Forrester says this year's program holds even more special significance.
Hope that you are indeed empowered after your 2 weeks of training here, and that you will go out and continue that training. Specifically outlined in our agreement with YEAC is to provide this training to small service providers within the tourism industry here in Grenada, and we look forward to your partnership in making that happen, to empower tour operators, different taxi drivers, operators at various interest sites, and of course the wider community with this emergency response training.
Over the next 8 months, participants will be empowered to mitigate the damage or injuries that may result from natural and man-made hazards, including floods, cyclones, landslides, earthquakes, forest fires, rock falls, and other hazards. They will also receive training in general safety protocols, COVID-19 and communicable diseases, handling hazardous materials, water safety, and administering first aid and CPR. Superintendent Holy George addressed participants.
Within an environment within the Caribbean that is prone to disaster, and as such, preparedness is key. So that training again comes front and center in readiness to respond. As you look at charting the way forward, coming out of this training and previous training that were held, to take it to a higher level and to ensure that at the national level we are much better able to respond to the situations that confront us. You, having seen the importance, experience in this training, have sought to take that lead, and I want to congratulate you on that.
Here is the takeaway for this participant, Woman Constable Tara Frederick.
I believe you must first be safe and secure in order to render service to anyone. The activities aspects of the training stood out the most to me because it was very realistic, finding out how challenging it can become, a rescue operation can become, but the end result was always give you a rewarding feeling of excitement and fulfillment, being able to rescue or help the survivors. Remember to act within the scope of your limitations, and safety.
The all-risk, all-hazard training forms part of the Sandals Foundation 40 for 40 initiative. It focuses on implementing 40 sustainable development projects that have the power to positively transform communities and change lives. Sandals is executing these projects in collaboration with the RGPF, St. John's Ambulance Brigade, the National Disaster Management Agency, and the Grenada Fund for Conservation. For GBN News, Janelle MacDonald.
Recently appointed head of the Pre-Larceny Task Force and Liaison Officer Superintendent Solomon Stafford believes the present construct of pre-larceny needs to be revisited. The officer made the comments while visiting farmers in St. Patrick. Superintendent Stafford said the presence of the officers of the Pre-Larceny Task Force is instrumental in building trust.
Recently appointed head of the Pre-Larceny Task Force and Liaison Officer Superintendent Solomon Stafford believes the present construct of the Pre-Larceny needs to be revisited. The officer made the comments while visiting farmers in St. Patrick. Superintendent Stafford said the presence of the officers of the Pre-Larceny Task Force is instrumental in building trust.
Clearly, something that we are presently looking at, based on the definition of pre-larceny that is presently on the books, we need to relook it, because I think when we do pre-larceny and pre-larceny products, agricultural products, we should more look at farmers and farmers' issues more so than the offenses that might be committed. And I believe that as pre-larceny is a good place to extend the program to cover all farming. So meaning whether it is vegetable farming, whether it is poultry, whether it is livestock, whether it is aquaculture, every area of farming.
The Ministry of Agriculture continues to place emphasis on the improvement and sustainability of the livestock sector in Grenada and improved food security. Acting Chief Veterinary and Livestock Officer Dr. Kimon Cummins says the ministry is striving to foster an effective relationship while imparting basic animal husbandry skills. Agriculture Minister Peter David highlighting the importance of the livestock sector.
Sometimes the farmers keep doing the same thing over and over, and they don't have the scientific knowledge. I think what is happening today, as well I've been seeing, is that they are imparting some scientific knowledge to them so that they can have more efficient production methods. And for example, I saw one animal this morning that was injured. They tended to the animal, ensured that the farmer knows what to do so that the animal can be saved. I mean, if you don't tend to them properly, you can have a lovely animal that can bring serious income, but then they die because you just didn't do the right thing. So I want to commend the livestock team for doing that. And what we have to do, and I know they're looking at, is bringing some bigger breeds so that we can get more meat from the goat.
The contingent included Acting Chief Veterinary and Livestock Officer Dr. Kimon Cummins, Veterinary Technologist Yolan Lord Telesford, and Wendell Wilson, Animal Health Assistant Frankie Buckmeyer, and Extension Assistant Raw Lewis. Christina John, GBN News.
Let's take a peek through the GBN ISO lens for tonight's feature.
A good eye catches all. GBN ISO is brought to you by ClearVision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. ClearVision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ClearVision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
Tonight's ISAW comes from a concerned citizen. Videos and photographs of the Balthazar River in St. Andrew were submitted, accompanied by this message, and I quote, "As a citizen of this country, I observe that stones have been removed from the river, and as such, many unforeseen factors can occur," end quote. Our concerned citizen journalist is pleading with the public to refrain from removing the stones, as they play an important role in maintaining the flow of the river. Experts have pointed out that boulders on the riverbed help to guide the flow of water and reduce on siltation and erosion of the river banks. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Up next, we probe around the globe and we take a look at sports. Stay with us.
Your vehicle insurance should never break your bank. With Beacon, you can get up to 35% off your fully comprehensive car insurance and still get full protection from unexpected damages with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. When it comes to your insurance, always be sure you settle for more. Call us at 440-4447 or log on to beacon.co.tt and get a quote today.
If there was ever a time to keep and stay healthy, it's now! We at Hills and Valley are here to help you take deliberate steps to maintain your health. We stayed true to maintaining the most comprehensive rates while stocking the widest range of medicines and health devices, including personal protective equipment. There are so many benefits shopping with us. You get great savings through discounts for senior citizens and reward cards for loyal customers. Ask about owning yours today. Visit us at Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George, Jubilee Street opposite the Grenville Bus Terminal, and at Hillsborough, Carriacou. Our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street also stocks the widest range of pharmaceuticals. We are with you on the hills and in the valleys. We are Hills and Valley Pharmacy.
Welcome to GBN Sports. The national under-15 table tennis team, accompanied by Coach Anthony Benjamin, departed Grenada on Wednesday to travel to the Dominican Republic for the Caribbean Youth Table Tennis Championships. Coach Anthony Benjamin highlighted expectations for the U15 boys team's participation in the 2022 Youth Caribbean Table Tennis Championships.
The under-15 team, it's going to be their first time representing Grenada in any tournament. It's the first time they will be traveling. So we are going out there to gain experience, to see what the competition is like in the Caribbean region, so that we can have a good understanding as to where our Grenada table tennis level is at. We have been working with the boys for the past couple of months, trying to give them the best preparation we possibly can so that they can go there and give a good showing of themselves. It has been many years since Grenada has participated in any of the Caribbean table tennis competitions. So we are really happy and delighted to have our under-15 boys participating in that competition.
Grenada's national under-15 table tennis players include Quanell Walker, Dwayne Newland, and Clifford Romain. The championships begin today, May 6th, and climax on May 11th. The Grenada Athletic Association has announced the participation of athletes in a variety of regional competitions. A 4-member team will represent Grenada at the TASVG National Queen Championship in St. Vincent and the Grenadines from May 7th to 8th, 2022. The team will be accompanied by Coach Wayne McSween and is scheduled to depart Grenada on Saturday, 7th May 2022. Additionally, Josh and Lyndon Victor, 2 of Grenada's top discus throwers, were invited to represent Grenada in the Martinique Invitational Meet on May 7, 2022 in Martinique. In 2022, Josh extended the national record in the discus event to 61.56 meters, a record he previously held at 61.00 meters. Finally, Nathaniel Mark will represent Grenada at the 2022 May Classic in Barbados next weekend, May 21st, 2022. He will also compete in the Bahamas on May 28th, 2022. Nathaniel will participate in the 100 meters and 200 meters event. Sir Andy Roberts received recognition from the Windward Islands Cricket Board for his continued contribution to cricket development in the West Indies. WICB President Dr. Kishore Shello presented a plaque to Sir Andy following a fruitful engagement with fast bowlers at the Windward Islands franchise. The West Indian cricket legend traveled to Grenada, home of the Volcanoes franchise, last week. The franchise hosted Sir Andy to observe and help the fast bowlers as they prepare for the resumption of the West Indies Regional 4-Day Tournament. The exchanges included discussions on the theory and art of fast bowling. Grenadian international players Sherman Lewis and Preston McSween participated in the sessions. The Volcanoes team travels on May 15th to Trinidad and Tobago for the final 3 rounds of the Regional 4-Day Tournament. And that's it for our sports news. Up next, we probe around the globe. Let's probe around the globe. While protests mount over the alleged harassment of former Minister of Finance Winston Jordan by the Special Organized Crime Unit, it could be that the former minister will appear in court next Thursday. More details in this report from HGP TV.
There is a strong indication from the Special Organized Crime Unit, SOCU, that they will forge ahead with charges against former Minister of Finance under the APNU-AFC coalition regime, Winston Jordan, in relation to the sale of several acres of land at Ogle, East Coast, Demerara. Attorney for Mr. Jordan, Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford, told reporters on Wednesday that while Mr. Jordan was released on his own recognizance, he was asked to report to the police next Wednesday and possibly court on Thursday.
The harassment of Mr. Jordan. Mr. Jordan has to turn up again next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And then go to court possibly on Thursday.
Mr. Ford was speaking on the sidelines of a picket exercise outside the Special Organized Crime Unit over the alleged harassment of the former finance minister and budget director. SOCU claims that the land transaction to a company named Premier was illegally done and that it reportedly took place when Jordan was in office under the APNU-AFC administration. SOCU further alleges that the sale of the land took place after December 21, 2018, following a no-confidence vote against the APNU-AFC government.
The World Health Organization says we may only just now be realizing the true toll of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is sharply revised up the number of deaths globally, with a warning to governments that it is not over yet. More from Al Jazeera.
The World Health Organization's estimate of close to 15 million global deaths due to COVID-19 is nearly 3 times the official death count of just under 5.5 million as reported by governments. The WHO says it used statistical modeling to arrive at the expanded number, which includes deaths directly from COVID and from other medical conditions that went untreated due to the pandemic's strain on health systems.
This is extremely important information for anyone to have, especially policymakers and the public. We need to know the true toll of the pandemic. We have to remember that behind these numbers are people.
According to the WHO's report, COVID-related deaths in India were nearly 10 times higher than the official count. Indian health officials pushed back against the report Thursday, attacking the WHO's use of statistical modeling.
Please appreciate that these kind of assumptions to be used for a nation of our size, of a continent size, and to put us in poor light is not desirable.
Other countries with large discrepancies include Pakistan, where, according to the WHO, excess deaths were 8 times higher than the official COVID death count.
A record heat wave in India has increased demand for electricity and led to power cuts. The crisis is highlighting its dependence on coal imports as power stations face their biggest shortages in 6 years. The details in this report.
Mahesh Kumar was supposed to start preparing his fields for planting rice 3 weeks ago, but this is the first day that the water supply has come. After weeks of power cuts resulting in a lack of water, Mahesh doesn't know how long today's supply will last.
We have to till the field, add manure, use the tractor, and for all this we need regular water supply from the time it's sown to its harvest. If there is irregular supply, either the quality of rice will deteriorate or the plant will die. The farmer will suffer if any of this happens.
Homes and businesses have also been suffering power cuts for weeks. This hospital in Uttar Pradesh has been without electricity for at least 6 hours a day, forcing staff to use diesel generators when the price of the fuel is at a record high.
We are spending more than $150 every day on diesel. We're not passing the burden onto the patients right now, but if these power outages continue, we'll be forced to increase patients' fees.
The cuts are due to a severe shortage of coal at power stations.
Experts blame the huge demand for electricity during a heat wave coupled with bottlenecks. Coal. With climate change exacerbating heat waves, environmentalists say the answer to meet rising electricity needs isn't to open more coal mines, as India is doing, because that will increase greenhouse gases that trap more heat.
That concludes tonight's probe. Stay with us for our recap. Here is a recap of the headlines. Campbell protests cancelled. Lone survivor of sunken vessel attacked. Opposition party says workers will be paid fortnightly instead of monthly if it wins the next general elections. Regionally, protests in Guyana mount over former Minister of Finance's arrest. And WHO says COVID death toll is nearly 15 million. In sports, Grenadian U15 table tennis team begins its participation in the Caribbean Youth Table Tennis Championship. You can visit our social media platforms for more on the country's current affairs. On behalf of the team here at GBN, I am Krista Campbell, wishing you a great weekend.
A message from Grenada.